So we looked around on the internet and we saw there wasn't enough people giving their opinion on football. So we thought we'd slide in and fill that gap in the market. Welcome to Three at the Back. I'm Callum, I'm a Manchester United fan.
My name's Max, I am a Chelsea fan.
And I'm Brandon, and I'm a Liverpool fan.
Today we're going to sit and have a little chat about the first 3 game weeks.
So first on the agenda is game week 3, arguably one of the biggest matches of the season so far, Man United versus Liverpool.
I don't see you wearing your Liverpool top today, Brandon.
Not today, my friend. not today.
First of all, I think it's best if we start with Brandon. What are your thoughts, mate? Go on, enlighten us.
Oh, I don't even know where to start. I really, really don't. I just feel like...
How about the defence?
Yeah, honestly, I don't know where to start, honestly. Like, the only person I don't want to go to is the goalkeeper. Everyone else I need to speak about. Because I just feel like you can start with... We all know what happened with Van Dijk. He just stood there like he was just ice skating or something.
I reckon you should start with Trent Alexander-Arnold, who for a couple of years has been heralded as one of the best right-backs in the Premier League, and at the moment isn't really living up to that title.
No, not at all. Not at all. And I feel like he's a great player, he just can't defend. Like we all say this, amazing.
But he's a defender.
I know, but he's an amazing passer of the ball.
But I'm sorry, didn't he came through the academy as a midfielder, didn't he?
Yeah, so this is the point. He did come through the ranks, and he kind of got chucked in because we had no one to play there anyway. Yeah. So he's been put in that spot. We've got no one to take after him.
Yeah, but I mean, you've got no backup either.
That's the issue. We had Nico Williams, and he's now gone to Forest. We've actually got no one. The problem is, like, a lot of people say you need competition in your squad to make people work and stuff, and we don't have that. There's no one.
No, yeah, you've got a point. I mean, especially in the middle two now with Matip and Van Dijk, you've got Konate and Joe Gomez, but
which are both injured, by the way.
Yeah, both injured. But even if you're that good. As good as Trent is, easily top 3 fullback in the world. But even if you're that good, you still need that competition in the squad to push you that extra mile, that bit further. If you look at Chilwell last season before he had the ACL tear, he was one of the best fullbacks in the league, I'd say. And now he's had this ACL tear, serious doubts over his ability, and bringing in Cucurella, who's going to push him and potentially even take over his place.
Yeah, exactly. It's just there's no competition in there at all, and he's amazing. We all know he can pass the ball. Some of them balls going across field, like to Diaz or Robertson. It's amazing.
The issue is having half a right back.
It is. It is.
Yeah, but it is. So Manchester United had to deal with Aaron Wan-Bissaka for ages.
Who's the other half?
Who was great defensively.
Yeah.
Do you imagine if they had
nothing going forward?
Two sides of the coin completely. Both of them combined in the same player would probably be one of the best players in the world, but. The thing is with Trent, like, this has been an argument for so long, whether he's been, is he competent defensively? I think last night showed it.
Yeah, 100%.
He was up against, and no disrespect to these players, Anthony Elanga, he's younger than him, right?
Yeah.
And he's been in the league for barely a season, and had him on strings, had him on toast. And then going forward as well, Terrell Malassia, who's played barely 3 games.
Wasn't 5 minutes in the Premier League, I think.
Yeah,
he's played.
Wasn't even starting until Monday, and then he's pocketed him and Salah all game. And I just, for the longest time, there's been questions raised over, his defense, like his defense in general. But
look at the Champions League final.
Yeah. On the back post.
I think especially with last night, I think the main thing is United exposed it. They knew that was the weakest part. They didn't even try. Obviously, Gomez played at that side as well. Obviously, Gomez has just been dropped in. He hasn't had much game time at all, and I feel like fair play to United because they fully deserved it. The way they exposed it, and he was just messing up left, right, and centre. He couldn't deal with it. He was getting caught off foot, but obviously, enough of Trent because.
What about we talk about the other problem? Your strike. No Darwin Núñez, who would have probably caused Manchester United quite a few problems.
He would have. If you compare Núñez to Bobby, if you compare them both, Bobby doesn't make them runs. I don't know if you've seen the touch map of him. He plays basically midfield. It's the way we played yesterday was he played midfield, and you've got Salah on the right and Diaz on the left. There's no one up front. But that's literally how we played. We played with no striker.
Another issue is if you had Núñez for that game and you were targeting Martinez, like as good as Martinez was on Monday, he was one of the best players for Man United.
Martinez, he only stood out because he wasn't having to play against
Yeah,
strikers.
I was about to say that.
Him.
Do you feel like he didn't get challenged much because there was no one to challenge him, really?
Yeah, pretty much.
So he didn't really get the test.
He did well with what he had to deal with, but I think an actual, an out-and-out striker like Nunez would have caused him way more problems than Firmino ever did.
Yeah, I guess so. But it's one of them things like you can say about strike, you can say about defence. Obviously, we know Van Dijk's not been at his best recently, but look at the midfield.
I brought this up last week, funnily enough. I said the issue for me with Liverpool was the depth. If you're going to compete with Man City, you need to have depth because Man City can play their B team and it would finish top 3.
I think I put something in the chat with us, and I think it was us when we played
The
Leicester.
Twitter chat for context,
Was it 2018? 2018, and we had the exact same starting 11.
Yeah,
4 years ago.
If you let me grab my phone, I screenshot that.
Yeah, pop it up. But it's crazy. Like 4 years ago, we've still got the same midfield. I know obviously Gomez was in that, and he's just dropped in. But
it's I don't know if I'm right in a right to say this because of how good he is. I mean, Klopp's obviously a top 5 manager in the world, top 3. You want to go there, but do you think it's complacency from Klopp to say like, well, they've been doing successful for so long?
I don't know if you have seen this, but I seen this early this morning, and I didn't like the look of it. So when he was at it Mainz before Dortmund?
Are you about to say the 7 year
the
thing?
7 year thing. Have you seen it?
Yeah.
So he was at Mainz 7 year, and then he was at Dortmund. And then on Dortmund's seventh season, he finished like the worst ever. Got obviously fingered, and now it's our 7th season. So if that's, I'm being a bit sceptical.
Yeah,
if that's it, then it's.
Know, yeah.
So I've pulled up the tweet you sent us, which is that Liverpool's lineup against Leicester in 2018 was the exact same that you played against United.
Literally
minus 2
4
people.
years ago.
Obviously, you had Sadio Mane and Wijnaldum back then, who were replaced by Harvey Elliott and Luis Diaz. I think I replied to it saying you need to calm down because at the end of the day, you've had a bad 3-game start to the season, but it's not the end of the world. Like, you've got so much time to kind of get back into your groove and challenge for the top of the title. It's 3 games. Yeah, it's been a bad 3 games, but I don't think there's any cause to panic.
I think the panic we get is last year. I think the Liverpool fan base as a whole, we're not used to losing. And I know it sounds stupid, but we're not. We're not used to losing. And looking at last year, it's like we spoke about it last week. Liverpool dropped points to Leicester and Brentford last year, and it cost us the title. And it might be these games at the start of the season. I know we're in August, and I get that. But when it comes to next year, these might have been the games that are going to cost us it.
It's not ridiculous to say dropping points this early in the league might cost you the title. I don't think it is anyway.
Easy fixtures as well, let's just say.
The only benefit you have is that Manchester City also dropped points this week.
Yeah, looking up, Newcastle aren't an easy fixture.
Games.
If you compare Newcastle and Fulham, I think a lot of people would say Newcastle are the better side, and we're dropping points to Fulham. Like, you'd understand Newcastle, especially when at home and the way they're going at the moment.
Yeah, that's true.
But I've got some more tweets of yours that I screenshotted because they made me laugh. So you said something needs to be done. We can't do this. Fair play to United, but our defence and midfield and attack are terrible. Virgil van Dijk is, and I can't say that, and Trent is also terrible.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the thing with Van Dijk is he did the same at Palace, and he wasn't great at Fulham either. And I just think last night just showed it all. When I know obviously you've got a goalkeeper, and he's expecting the goalkeeper to be there. I mean, you're a defender. You've got to stop the shot. He didn't go towards Sancho. He just stood there. He didn't move. I think he took like one little step to the right, but he didn't go towards him. He didn't.
He didn't cover the side of the net.
You've got to stop the shot.
It's a shame Milner didn't stop the shot, but Sancho sat him down.
Whatever.
We're bragging about sitting down a 35-year-old man.
I know.
But it was good.
He's an old man.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah, let's go to you, Callum.
I think the main thing, and I think a lot of the media caught it as well, you benched your captain, and obviously, arguably, the best player in the world.
So, the thing with benching Ronaldo, and I'm sure everyone's got their own opinion on this. I mean, I saw Stormzy on Sky Sports, saying you can't have an opinion on it because he's the GOAT or whatever, but like everyone's going to have an opinion on it. Yeah, okay, until he sorts his attitude out and he wants to play for this club 100%, I would put him on the bench.
Do you think he's going to sort it out, or do you think he just still wants to leave?
I think he might be gone by January.
Do you not think with Casemiro coming in, might be a bit
Possibly, but at the end of the day, I just think if he doesn't want to play, let him go, because it's going to be a detriment to our team if we've got someone like him just hanging around and not being played, but costing the club money, and when he does come on, he doesn't give his 100%. That's all I want from him. While he's here, just give his 100% and then, let him play.
With United at the moment, do you feel Do you feel like Casemiro's going to sort this team out? I know they're not going to be title winning. Do you think Casemiro's a good signing for them, or?
Without a doubt. I think you've got that spine now of Varane, Casemiro and Ronaldo up front, say, if he was starting. But I think a lot of I think the root of the problem for Man United was the midfield. Because I watched McTominay play, right? And this isn't exaggeration when I say I don't know what he's good at. He's not good at passing. He can't retain the ball. He's not good like being press composed.
To be fair, it didn't look good. It didn't look good last night.
No,
honestly.
But the thing is with Casemiro, I know this is the argument I had. Like, it's easy to look good when you're playing next to Kroos and Modric.
It does.
And now it's going to be a real test to see whether he is, that guy.
Yeah.
Do you think he might have the Granit Xhaka effect and come on and just snap people and get yellow carded for fun?
Do you think there's going to be any room for Maguire now then?
No.
Do we think?
No. There still is. He's still going to have a spot in this team because at the end of the day, even when we had Varane, Lindelof, Maguire, those three rotated regularly. And even when Bailly would be playing under Rangnick, he's still going to get into the team. Maybe he doesn't start now. I'm not sure. But I would imagine he would. I think this is just a reaction to the negativity around him.
I think the big thing at the moment as well for all United fans is you bench your captain and, like I said, arguably the best player in the world, and you go and beat Liverpool. I know they're not at the best at the moment, but they are a strong side.
So, next week against Southampton, we start the same team and we see how it plays again. And then later down the line, when we have what should be an easier fixture, we start Maguire again and see how he plays there. This is what I wanted to talk about. I wanted to single out Marcus Rashford. So I went to quite a few United games last season at Old Trafford, and it drove me up the wall watching Marcus Rashford. It looked like he did not want to be there. There was no determination or desire, but that was when he was playing out on the left wing, and even though that's where he said he wanted to play, I'm not sold it was the best for United. Watching him up top against Liverpool, my opinion's changed. He suddenly wanted to play football again. I don't know if it was just a one-off against Liverpool, but to me he looked more determined than he's looked in a while.
I think he's always up for that match against Trent, because obviously...
Yeah, I think he is.
Yeah, have you ever seen the interview of Trent, and someone's asking, what was the game that was like an eye-opener for you? And he goes, the United game against Rashford. It's the one where Ronaldo chops him and puts it in the corner.
He did it twice, didn't he?
Yeah, well, I think for some reason he always just seems to... I think he understands...
Tried it last night.
Huh?
Rashford tried that last night on Van Dijk. I remember watching it. Yeah.
Well, I think he understands the competition that he's up against.
Chelsea, obviously, been we know strikers, and obviously I know James and stuff can put.
Where do you want me to start?
How about losing 3-0 to Leeds?
Yeah, I think that's a nice point to go first. Yeah. Obviously, it was just happened. Well, let your thoughts on that.
Chelsea Leeds. I think it just simply boiled down to mentality. We underestimated them. Leeds are known as a ruthless team.
What an atmosphere, by the way.
Huh?
Ellen Road
Ellen Road frightens me. It's so loud.
It was rocking.
So loud.
Yeah, it was rocking.
But they wanted it more physically, mentally. You can see them absolutely going in for 50-50s. And they were absolutely pure aggression from first minute to the last. I mean, this press that Jesse Marsch has got them running is really, really good. I remember I was speaking to a Leeds fan that I work with, and he was telling me about the Southampton game. The one they drew 2-2 against. So they were 2-0 up, and he told me they were pressing for 70 minutes. As soon as they stopped because they were gassed, that's when Southampton brought it back. And I think they realised that against Chelsea, because they went up so early through a daft error, and that's when when you concede, your heads drop a bit. We can't let that happen. I almost feel like that happened far too many times last season when, the first goal would go in and just be like, you can't.
With Mendy. Mendy was the best
keeper
in the league when he first came.
I don't think
he started making more regular mistakes.
It's hard because I feel like De Gea's been in the same position.
I was literally just about to say, Mendy's in that same bracket as De Gea now, where he's that good of a keeper at shot stopping, but everything else is just poor. Like, I think De Gea makes quite a lot of errors. He didn't come and collect the low cross for the second goal against Brighton. He gave the ball away, against Brentford. I think De Gea makes far too many errors, and his distribution's basically in the gutter too. But if you look at Mendy, you're not ridiculous to say Mendy's in the same spot. Mendy makes some world-class saves, without a doubt, but I think he's the exact same. His distribution is questionable, And some of the errors he makes are just... Don't get me wrong, it doesn't happen every single game.
But it's becoming a more regular problem than
Whereas-
it was when he first signed.
When he first signed under Frank, it must have took him at least 20 games to make... 20, 15 games to even make an error lead into goal. That's how it felt anyway.
It's just judgment. Against Leeds, admittedly, no Chelsea player came back, but he could have just kicked that ball long and got rid of it. And instead he faffed around with it.
This is what I mean about underestimating Leeds. They were absolutely pressing us to the death for the first 20 minutes. And how can you have the audacity to think, I can just try, mess around with the ball, to try and get away from the defence.
Not when they're sprinting at you as well.
Yeah, knock it out for a corner. Do anything to stop them from getting the ball. It's as simple as that.
Let's look at some other fixtures this weekend. First one, obviously, Palace and Villa. I know it was 3-1, wasn't it? So.
Zaha is on fire at the moment. He is.
Do you know what? He's gone
really
up on the FPL. He's gone through the roof. A lot of people.
He's got his passion back.
You think?
Yeah, without a doubt. Watching him play now is phenomenal. Last season, sometimes he just seemed like he was a bit angry and he just wanted to go out and get a yellow card.
I think Vieira's finally got the team he's happy with.
Vieira has done wonders with that Palace team.
Because I remember watching the game. I think is it Mitchell on the left.
Yeah,
they played
Mitchell.
A nice 1-2, and Mitchell with a first-time ball across, and then obviously that new striker. Is it new striker?
Mateta.
Yeah, Mateta.
That
was a
beautiful goal.
Lovely cross.
Beautiful goal.
Villa are struggling at the moment, aren't
Gerrard, what do we think?
I reckon he'll be the first manager gone this season.
I do. To be honest, the record. I think someone
3
said
wins
it's like Gary Neville at Valencia,
14.
and it's not great. And obviously, last night they was struggling against.
They went 1-0 down to Bolton with the starting 11. It's mate, you're not playing Hibs every week anymore.
Everton, last-minute goal against Forest.
Yeah, good for them. Bit disappointing for Notts Forest, who've had a pretty good start to the Premier League.
Yeah, I really do hope they stay up. There's one of the teams I do want to
The
stay
other
up.
team that have had an amazing start to the Premier League, Fulham. Last minute goal against Brentford.
I mean, Tony got me a goal, so that's all I'm bothered.
Yeah, Mitrovic as well.
But Mitrovic started
well.
better than I think anyone would have expected him to, based
100%.
on his previous Premier League performances.
Pre-season, there were big questions raised over Mitrovic. Is he going to be up to it? I mean, he's absolutely shattered that record Tony held for the championship goal record. But I think he's
doing well,
isn't he?
Yeah, he's doing well. He's doing well.
And now let's talk about Arsenal. 3-0 against Bournemouth. On the count of 3, shall we all say the sign of the season? 1, 2, 3.
Gabriel Jesus.
He is the striker they've been looking for a while.
He's so good. I'm jealous because we were going after either him or Sterling and went for Sterling.
He's really what Arsenal have been looking for
100%.
the last couple of seasons.
Yeah, they
since
didn't get it with
Lacazette
Aubameyang.
and Aubameyang.
Yeah, and I think with Zinchenko as well. Obviously, two old teammates.
Yeah,
they're linking
especially
up as
with
well.
Tierney getting injured so regularly. Zinchenko's been a phenomenal signing for them. So Sunday's fixtures, Brighton beating West Ham 2-0. Brighton with a really good start to the season.
Great. I think Brighton, especially last year, they could defend and they hardly ever conceded. It's scoring goals they struggled with.
They did get a hell of a lot of draws.
Yeah, they look like they're doing it this season. They really, really do. So, fair play to them. I like them.
Welbeck's working very well for them. We've got one last fixture from the Sunday to talk about, and we actually recorded us watching the second half of the game because someone was late.
Yeah, I do apologise.
So Newcastle drew 3-3 with Man City. Quick thoughts, and then we will put the highlights of us watching at the end.
I'll go first. Yeah, Newcastle, I want to say robbed of 3 points, but you can't go 3-1 up and be robbed.
It was well worked by City to get back into it. They were determined, and the last through ball from De Bruyne for Bernardo Silva's goal was filthy.
I think in the highlights you'll see us saying do we think they're going to hold on? And I think I said they're not going to.
I said they would, and I guess a draw is holding on. It's just not what they would have wanted. Taking 3 points from City would have been.
They'll treat that as a win though.
Oh, 100%. Yeah. And Trippier's free kick was obviously great.
Trippier's free kick was phenomenal.
City are just on a different level, aren't they? Simple as that.
Well, maybe not this season because they drew 3-3 with Newcastle, Newcastle are also going to be a top 10 contender easily. I have them at 8th in my predictions.
I do think they're going to do well.
I think they'll finish. I had them at 8th, but I think they'll go 7th because West Ham might struggle, I think.
And so to finish, we're just going to take a look at a couple of predictions, namely our predictions for the table for the season and then our predictions for game week 4. So first, I just want to ask you, Brandon, do you think Liverpool are going to win the Premier League this season, do you?
At the start of the season, yes. Now, No, I think it's going to be a top four battle now.
Max, you have Manchester City to win. I also have Manchester City to win. The only interesting thing I have is that I put Manchester United fourth. Now, I think that might be a bit
It's still possible.
It's still possible, but I'm
Let's
starting to
not-
think we might finish a bit lower than that.
It depends.
Yeah,
if
let's
you
not
carry on
jump
playing
after,
how it was
after one
yesterday.
game. Yeah.
Yeah, obviously it depends. We'll see how you play this week. Have you got Southampton?
Yeah, Southampton, the early kick.
Is it away?
Yes.
Do you think you'll be alright?
I think we might win the game 2-1. I don't think Southampton are not going to score. They'll get a goal.
I mean, I think we all put Southampton to be relegated. To be fair,
I didn't.
Did you not?
I didn't put Southampton to get
I
relegated.
mean, you did, Max. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. So I think it's a win for you. To be
I
fair.
put Leeds to get relegated, and I regret doing that
No, no chance.
now. Who have Liverpool got this week?
We've got Bournemouth. It's a 3:00 kickoff, but we've got Bournemouth at home. And
Should be a win.
I think obviously looking at you when you got beat, and I think it's a redemption thing now, isn't it? You've got to do it. You can't draw. You can't afford to draw or lose. It has to be a win.
And Chelsea have got an out of form Leicester.
We have Leicester at home on the 3:00 kickoff.
I'm predicting a 1-1 draw, Chelsea-Leicester.
No, I think I don't know. I think Chelsea will just nick it. I think it's going to be like 1-0 or something though. The other game I do want to look out for is Man City Palace. I think Palace could. I don't see them winning or drawing, but I think they can give them a good game.
Some problems.
Yeah,
a Zaha goal maybe.
Exactly. Look, when they played Villa, they absolutely tore them to shreds, and hopefully they can put City off on the back foot.
And with that was the first episode of 3 at the Back. Thank you for watching. Yeah, he's just scored.
Oh my god! Why do I always do it?
Oh, Brandon, that was
so irritating.
that was some of the most perfect timing I've ever seen.
I didn't even see the goal. I can't believe that. I feel like that United trade. I honestly feel like
You just trade us.
I do it all the time in the chat as well.
Wow, so Holland's just scored, and now it's Newcastle 3, Manchester City 2. I think they hold on, yeah.
I mean, it's an Eddie Howe masterclass. If Eddie Howe somehow exposes Pep for, the bald fraud he is, well, I mean, we'll just wait and see, innit?
How good St. Maximin been today?
St. Maximin's probably been the best player on the pitch. Joe Linton's been really good too, which is not a surprise. Yeah, honestly, he's had Kyle Walker just on strings all game. Miguel Almiron has probably been the funniest man on the pitch as well, hasn't he? He shagged the ball into the net. Am I allowed to say that? Hey, no way. No way. Oh, what a save!
There's 30 minutes left. We know what City are capable of. Like everyone knows.
Our opinion on the internet about
Offside is offside.
No, he's not.
Oh, I literally said it.
And trade us again.
I can't be arsed with Man City, honestly. I just can't be arsed. They're ruining football.
That's the fattest hell I've ever heard.
All the excitement I had about Newcastle beating City is gone.
Evaporated.